Welcome to Focus. This segment is an opportunity for us to focus on what matters with people, places, and things. I'm your photographer, Daryl Everidge. On this episode of Focus, I have the pleasure and honor of speaking with Barbara Barth, a writer and artist. Barbara's creative side creates whimsical portraits of ladies, gardens, flowers, cats, and dogs. Today, we talk about her writing and her art. Okay, Barbara, thanks a lot for being on this episode of Focus.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm very flattered.
I have looked at so many of your paintings and your artwork, and it's just absolutely amazing. I think one of the things that I really want to know is, how did you discover that this was inside you?
How did I discover this was something I wanted to do?
Yes.
Well, I've always loved art, and back in the early days of eBay, I sold oil paintings, Victorian oil paintings, and I could repair them, and I had fun with that, but it didn't really dawn on me I could paint my own. And then coming into the art center here, I was inspired by everybody's art and just started painting.
And you got interested and involved in the local arts here, and tell us about that story, about how that happened.
Okay, well, I moved from Decatur, Georgia to Social Circle. I did a stop there before I moved to Monroe last year. But anyhow, I got involved with the art center with my writing, and I came on the board of directors as the literary arts chair. And I was really all about the writing. I collect art, but it didn't dawn on me that I should be painting it. But looking at all the wonderful art and artists here at the Art Center, I got inspired to try my own. And I had tried some earlier on, and I did a little girl, and she looked like a demon that followed me from canvas to canvas. And that was probably, 15 years ago, and I sold her on eBay to get rid of her.
And speaking of a little girl, there seems to be a reoccurring girl in a lot of your paintings, and where did she come from?
You know, I have no idea. Some people go, she's me, and I'm really flattered because she's maybe a younger version of myself, but she's just kind of morphed over the last 2 years. A year ago, January, I had a painting in the members show here. It was a very whimsical painting of a butterfly girl. And she was wearing glasses or sunglasses. I was afraid to paint her eyes. And she actually placed first place in the show in 2D. And from that, I've just started, experimenting and starting to put in faces and eyes. And I really don't know where it came from, but it has become a consuming passion for me. And the girls are getting prettier, or more realistic looking in some cases. I looked at a couple of paintings I did 2 years ago, or a year ago, and people liked real well, but the girl looked like a little turtle face. So I did a little, as I call, plastic surgery on her. And I repainted some of her features, and she looked again like this girl. And I don't know, it's just, she is there, and I don't know when I sit down what she's gonna tell me to do.
And I see too, there's always a cat somewhere.
Yes, I like to put cats in the paintings, which is really weird since I have 6 chihuahuas. I don't own a cat, but it was fun to paint the cats. And somebody told me a long time ago, particularly if you're going to try and sell your paintings or sell your work, people identify with a cat, any cat, because there's a lot of similarities in black cats and tuxedo cats. But with a dog, it's really breed specific. So if you paint this wonderful painting and you put a collie in it, and they have a boxer, they don't want a collie painting. So I don't know, I just started painting cats. And I don't know if you've seen any of my recent stuff on Facebook, I'm now painting mice. Marlene Buchanan, who's one of our local authors, and Miss Ratledge is her middle name, and she likes rats, paintings and illustrations, so she told me to start painting some mice. And now I'm doing a series of this little mouse that is owning a flower shop. So
and I know that you have a lot of stuff that you do sell and on commission. People come in and want to commission you to do something. Is there anything that you won't sell?
I've got some of the paintings I brought here today. I love them, but I'm also, if somebody says to me, well, we want to buy that one, I probably am a little, okay, show me the money. But my work is very realistically painted because if I go to sell something, I want somebody to have something they really like. And a lot of art is beautiful and it's very expensive, and I would give anything to own it. But I'm trying to make my art real affordable. So.
And your paintings to you, are they personal? Are they very personal?
They are. You know, when you sit down and you're, as a writer, they tell you when you start to write, your character takes you on your journey. Well, what I found with my painting, I sit down and my character takes me on the journey on that. I have an idea in mind, but until I get started, I don't really know where I'm going to end. And one of the things I realized is that I always paint the face first. And once I have the face, I kind of know her story. So.
And then the background comes in there.
Yes.
You kind of discover where she is
Yes.
and what she's doing.
Yeah.
And that's remarkable.
Yeah.
And you spoke a little bit about writing. That's something you also do. You
Yes.
have a book and.
Yeah. I have on my Amazon author page, I started writing when I lost my husband in 2008. And my first memoir was what they call a vanity publishing. I paid somebody to do it. It was before Amazon and everybody, CreateSpace, started making it so easy to do. And also back then it was kind of frowned upon, but now everybody's self-publishing and it is a respected form of getting your book out there. So that was the first book. And then I followed it up with a fictional book and my book about one of my dogs dreaming about going to Paris. And then I guess 2 years ago I wrapped it up with the final widow book. And I joke and say I never want to write about myself again. But I also like to encourage people to write. And we started Walton Writers here at the Arts Center because I think everybody has a story to share, be it a painting or writing. And I like to encourage people, if they think they have a story they want to share, they need to get it down on paper. You learn a lot that way about yourself too.
And it helps to release stress, I guess.
Yes, yeah. Most of my painting, my heavy painting, came after we all kind of got sequestered in with the beginning of the pandemic. And I didn't want to acknowledge what was going on. I wanted to still be around beauty because I used to be an antique dealer. My house is, you walk in, it looks like a shop. It's a little too much stuff, I think. But I wanted the beauty of the garden and pets and outdoors and things that make you smile when you look at them. My art is whimsical. I don't call it fine art by any chance, but it does, I think, speak to a lot of people. They like the stories that I put with them too. When I put them up on Facebook, the painting, usually the girl has a name and a little line, like a tagline about what she's doing. So I have fun with that.
And I notice you have different sizes. Is there a particular canvas size that you enjoy more than others?
Yes, and I'm realizing that right now. 16 by 20, it's just a standard, and you can drop it in any 16 by 20 frame. I have, it's easier to work on a larger canvas that size than it is for me to try and do a small one. I don't really do big art. 24 by 30 was the largest that I painted, partially because I don't walk that well and I can't stand that long because I am getting older. And I like to sit in my chair and paint, but I don't have an easel. I sit at my computer and it is one mess right now because I sit with the canvas on my lap, leaning it on the desk and the keyboard. So now the floor's covered in paint, the keyboard's covered in paint, the monitor has got splashes on it. And I was actually looking at something on eBay the other day and I went, there's a flaw in that. And then I looked closer and I went, oh, that's paint on my monitor. But I like to paint there, and I have my 6 dogs all around me. So, and one of the things I want to toss in here, because I love glitter, and because there are some fantasy paintings I'm doing. When I say fantasy, I don't mean they're just the ladies in the garden, but the flowers have glitter in them, and I'm finding that I like to add some glitter. I brought one of them here. She's a little bit different than what I've been painting, and she's wearing a crown, and I've got real thick glitter paint in there, and when you look at it, it looks like stones that are shimmering in the light. So I have fun with that.
Great. Thank you, Barbara, for being here.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful.
This
Getting
is a
little,
real pleasure.
A little insight on the artist here.
Yeah, this is a real pleasure, and I'm very flattered you chose me to talk to today. Thank you.
Well, keep up the good painting.
Thank
It's
you.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank